All right, people, you guys are watching and or listening to another Nomadic live stream for your guys' entertainment. Guys, this is going to be an interesting episode. We have a Nomadic news. That's right, people, Nomadic news coming to you guys live. And it's going to be awesome, guys. We also got this little header here as well. We got the breaking news header. We got the whole news setup here. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty sweet. I'm glad Restream has been expanding their options with what you can do, because it used to be like you had like pretty much the default trial thing with the whole Ukraine thing. Here's Handcup in the chat. Hello, welcome Handcup. But yeah, before it used to be you had a very limited amount of options. Now you have many options on Restream.io. So if you guys want to do your own podcasts, guys, use Restream.io, guys. That's the people to go to for all your podcast needs. We are live today with Restream.io. And so guys, we have the Nomadic News episode today. I tagged or mentioned Rexus Prime in the stream inside the server. I don't know if he's going to respond yet. So while we wait for a response, is Restream free? Yes, Restream is free. Anyways, while we wait for a response from Rexus Prime, I'm going to move into the sports report to basically start us off because it's been pretty interesting, to say the least, what's going on pretty recently. So, guys, news in the NFL to start off with. As you guys know, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I'm not wearing a Cowboys hat today. And the Dallas Cowboys probably made one of the craziest and worst trades that I've ever seen in my entire life. The Dallas Cowboys GM Jerry Jones. Handcup says, tell Rexus that I said hi. All right, I will tell Rexus that you said hi when he joins the stream. But yeah, basically Dallas Cowboys GM Jerry Jones decided to trade away star defensive end Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. Now, if you guys know anything about Micah Parsons, he has been a beast. The last 4 years he's been with Dallas. He is one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. And Jerry Jones decided, instead of paying this man the money that he is worth, which if you just franchise tagged him, it would have went down to about $40-something million. Actually, way less than the amount that Jerry Jones initially offered Micah Parsons, oddly enough. But if they just franchise tagged him moving forward, they would have had to pay him just like pretty much the standard amount that he would get for being such a great player that he is. Instead, Jerry Jones made this whole big drama show with Micah Parsons, refusing to negotiate with the agent, and now what's happening that is absolutely terrible is they traded him. They traded Micah Parsons after weeks of lying to us and gaslighting us and telling us, no, we have no intention of trading Micah Parsons. They traded Micah freaking Parsons to the Green Bay Packers for a decent Pro Bowl level defensive tackle in order to stop the run is the reason given. I know we haven't been able to get after the run that great, but you also still need to be able to get after the pass too. You still need to sack the quarterback. So, like a decent defensive tackle, we got Kenny Clark, who's he's all right. Like, he's nowhere near the caliber of a player that Micah Parsons is. And we got 2 first-round draft picks in the upcoming future, basically suggesting that the Cowboys plan to rebuild. Um, some key players actually, they're having a game coming up. The Dallas Cowboys are about to be playing the Philadelphia Eagles, and some key players are actually going to be out for that game as well. Of course, obviously, Micah Parsons is out because of the trade, but other key players are out due to injuries. Those players are as follows. Um, those players are, to start off with, we've got um, it is DeMarvion Overshone will not be playing because he's still injured, and he's expected to return sometime in the middle of the season. Um, then we also have Miles Sanders was injured. He looked all right. He showed flashes in the preseason. He only played for one game due to coming off of an injury, playing in one game, getting 7 snaps, only 15 yards. One of them was a loss of yards, but that was because it was a bad toss from Joe Milton. But still, he showed flashes, but he was not looking like himself, like how he was on the Eagles. Um, but yeah, Miles Sanders is injured. That will probably be a hindrance. Also, Tyler Guyton is also questionable for the game, so they might start his backup. That's pretty much who will be starting in the next game. Next up, we have college football. In college ball, something pretty big happened. It's been week 0 in the college season, and the University of Hawaii managed to sneak over a victory against Stanford, California University in a game scored 23-20, where the game ended with the University of Hawaii kicking a chip shot field goal with their new kicker from Tokyo, Japan, who actually learned how to kick field goals off of YouTube. Next, we've got news from the UFC. We have one big thing coming up from UFC that just happened, and it is the DDP versus Hamzat Chimaev fight. Unfortunately, DDP got smashed by Hamzat Chimaev on August 16th. He did not retain the championship. He was basically hugged onto the ground and put in the crucifix early from a double leg takedown. And he got beat up in the first round. And then in the rest of the round, he pretty much just got hugged around and, hold it up against the cage and pinned down to the floor. And he was trying to get his guard back, and he couldn't get his guard back. And he ended up losing on control pretty much. And he did have a bright spot towards the end of the fight, ended up reversing one of Hamzat's shots into a judo throw, takedown, and even mounting some offense, trying to put in a submission of his own. He also landed a couple nice punches in that round as well, but ultimately he ended up losing that fight. And yeah, now your new champion is Hamzat Chimaev, the Dagestani wrestler from the UAE. All right, Rex's Prime just got back with me, said that he is ready to stream. All right, let me go ahead and put you on screen record real quick. Oh, it's okay, bro. I was late to the stream as well. Let me put the screen. Oh, all good, bro. Hold on. I don't think the stream heard any of that because we have not screen recorded that side yet. All right, let me get. I hate this Discord ad. What the frick? All right, so we are in the chat now. Sweet.
Okay.
We get all right. We have a so we are screen recorded right now. We're live as of right now on YouTube with two people watching. I think Handcup is watching still. But yeah. Anyways, I pretty much almost finished up recapping the sports report when you messaged me, and um, now we're ready to go. I'm gonna hit you with what I thought was one of the biggest stories this week that just recently happened, Rexus.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know if you know anything about pro wrestling.
Sadly, I don't.
You don't? Damn. Because the
Yes,
craziest
sadly, I don't know much about sports, like any at all.
the craziest fucking thing happened at this pro wrestling event. Let me fill you in on this. Okay, so there's this guy who's the son of an MMA fighter. You know, MMA, I don't know. I'm sure you don't watch MMA, but you know what it is. It's the sport where they punch each other in the cage and take each other down and whatnot,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Um, so the son of this MMA fighter, famous MMA fighter, Rampage Jackson's son, Raja Jackson, goes to this indie wrestling event. He's invited by a wrestler named AJ Mana. He's the guy in this video that he's recording. He's a guy with a cowboy hat. And basically, AJ Mana brings him into like the back area with all the wrestlers, right? And Raja Jackson, the son of Rampage Jackson, the MMA fighter's son, is a Kick streamer. So he streams on the website Kick. You heard of that website, right?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, where people will just do Kick streams where it's just I don't know what it is. They just do like these life like kind of
It's
vlog live streams.
basically it's basically kind of like Twitch, but less sensory, kind of like that. Like I mean, by
Kind of.
you could actually say something without the fear of getting censored on Twitch because, well, to just be quite frank, when it comes down to censorship on Twitch, it is far worse than YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally. But yeah, basically, so Roger Jackson is a Kick streamer. He's streaming the whole thing live to the world. And the promoter lets them into the back area because the promoter thinks of this wrestling promotion, thinks, oh, yeah, it'll be good for business. You know, all 70 of Roger Jackson's fucking followers are going to, be watching this in addition to the 50 people at this event. So they're in the back area. And basically, the back area is like, it's like behind a building with a tent and a parking lot with a few cars, and they have like a grill. They're grilling some hamburgers and they have a few beers around and shit. And Roger Jackson approaches this wrestler by the name of Psycho Stu and basically says, "Oh, I don't know who you are. Like I've never heard of you." And then Psycho Stu goes, "What do you mean you've never heard of me?" And he grabs a beer can. It's an empty beer can and like pretends to hit him over the head with it pretty much. Like it clearly doesn't hurt Roger Jackson at all, but it is enough to confuse him and it pisses off Roger Jackson. And Roger Jackson says that he's going to like beat him up and knock him out. And it seems like everyone gets in the way and stops these two from brawling in the parking lot for the time being. They cool the tensions over. The two shake hands after, and then the promoter suggests that Raja Jackson run in on Psycho Stu's match. Now Raja Jackson is just a regular guy. He's not a pro wrestler. He's not a worker. They already made this clear he's not a worker. He doesn't know like what the hell he's doing. He's just the son of an MMA fighter who's like a bum at backyard MMA basically. Like he's never won a real MMA match. Um but he basically is told to run in on this guy's match, and then AJ Mana, the guy who brings him in, tells him to give him a receipt, which in wrestling terms means basically to hit the guy for real if he hurt you. So, with the only information that Roger Jackson has is to run in on the match, take the guy down, and give him a receipt, it all culminates in Roger Jackson taking down Psycho Stu in the middle of his match in front of everyone, in front of all 50 people at this event and everyone on stream. And then he proceeds to punch Psycho Stu in the face for real. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 23 fucking times in the face for real, leaving him bloody, concussed, and he actually ends up flatlining in the ring and having to be seen in the ICU in critical condition. He chokes on his own blood and teeth, but he luckily is able to make it out of the whole situation alive.
Damn.
Yeah, it is an insane story. And yeah, like, it's just crazy, this whole situation.
Yep.
Yeah. So there was that
Well,
happened this weekend. That was, or not this weekend, this past week, I should say, that happened. That was just utterly insane. But there's been
yep.
a lot as well that has happened, like in politics as well, I think. And you kind of know more about that.
Yeah. So since we haven't really talked about the Ukraine war yet, well, Konstantinivka, Kupiansk, and Pokrovsk are now under threat of encirclement by the Russian army.
Ah, so the Russians are winning the war, is what you're saying.
Yep, they're now currently trying to encircle Pokrovsk, Kupiansk, and Konstantinivka. And they've actually made some massive gains around the Pokrovsk area. They actually moved about 20 kilometers to its east, and they actually cleared out a lot of mines. In fact, that there was this one heavy fortification that the Ukrainians made, and I will say this: beautiful, 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 beautiful fortification, well made. One problem: they have less manpower because, to be quite frank, Russia essentially has unlimited manpower, not Ukraine. So this said fortification, it's well made, it's well done, but it gets taken out by 2 Russian guys carrying anti-tank mines. That's how undermanned it was.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, I just
Yep.
feel like this whole Ukraine-Russian war, it's really all a lost cause. And if you really look at it, like, it is, if you look at how everything is historically, it really is kind of like, I would say it's probably a war of NATO aggression, because you're seeing that we're just trying to encroach and encroach and encroach so much on Russia. Russia, what they really want at this point is they're going to have some sort of compensation. They already know they've been able to defeat the Ukrainian forces, and it is pretty much a war of attrition at this point. So I think Russia is going to have to end up taking some sort of land in order for them to even negotiate anything.
Yeah, they did, and they did also start a second offensive within the Sumy Oblast as well.
Yeah, I mean, the Ukrainians are kind of on their last leg at this point. And
Oh yeah, like I mean by the poll, and of course, yeah, this was shown by CNN, but even they said that the idea of making a deal with Russia has risen within Ukraine. It went from being about 22% to about 69%.
Yeah.
Whilst the idea of continuously fighting Russia went from 75% down to 24%.
Well, I mean, what did you expect? I mean, they literally have to like they're so low on conscripts that they literally are dragging people off the street and stuffing them into vans to get them to the front lines. Um,
Yep.
there's really like the only time that happens is when an army is on their last legs and is trying desperately to hold on to what little manpower they have on the front lines left.
Yeah. Like I mean by Ukraine is just fucked. Not only did half of its population leave because of the war, but well, thanks to Zelensky, and I think you know this, but basically Zelensky and his regime actually want to get rid of the Orthodox Church in Ukraine because of its historic ties with Russia. I'm just going to say this. Yeah, no shit, it's Sherlock. Of course, it has a history with Russia. Orthodoxy in general has a history with Russia, but still, he's now trying to get rid of the Orthodox Church, and it has led to the persecution of Orthodox priests in the country. And now, pretty much the entirety of the Orthodox world has turned on Ukraine because of it.
Yeah, I mean, really, Ukraine is cooked, man. Ukraine is kind of cooked at this point. Um,
Yeah,
I don't want
and
to be giving
another reason.
millions of dollars to millions and millions and millions of dollars to some foreign country that's halfway across the world that is fighting a losing battle against a world power. I don't want to participate in this Cold
Yep,
War type of game.
like I mean, like I mean by there's this guy I watch. His channel is called Videos from Mariupol, and he has a point in describing Ukraine in these two short, simple words: suicidal nation. That's what Ukraine is. It's basically a suicidal nation at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Well, I wouldn't say the nation is suicidal. I think the nation um, right now is like they just want to preserve whatever they have left and salvage what they can out of this, while the prime minister, who's essentially he's suspended the elections and has essentially become kind of a dictator at this point, is just trying to keep the war going for as long as he can in order to maintain power. And he knows once the war is over, his people are going to toss him out.
Yeah, like I mean by this is also something that my history legends pointed out. Most of these Ukrainian generals seemingly have this old Soviet mindset of just throwing men to the front lines, and of course, oddly enough, it seems like that the Russian generals have a seemingly changed mindset. But then again, those said Russian generals, most of them are like veterans. Well, like I mean, like most of these current new ones are like the veterans of of the Chechenian War, and they know how much of a fuck show it was with those old Soviet mindsets.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much led to the Ukrainians like adopting like World War II type of tactics in the battlefield, though, like digging trenches and stuff. Um,
Yeah, yeah, it has also led to the Russians also using some World War II type tactics, but it's mainly with the whole Blitzkrieg thing.
yeah, I mean, the Ukrainians, you have to give them credit on this. They did get that one good shot in that I'm pretty sure everyone knows was definitely most
In
certainly funded
Kharkov,
by the United States, was the drone attack destroying all the bombers. That was like the one good, like really good shot they had. But it seems like I just pissed off the Russian bear.
yep, yeah, and another reason that a lot of people seemingly forget about the reason why this war kind of began as well was due to one thing. One, the ethnic Russian minority within Donbass and Novorossiya in general, also known as Eastern Ukraine, has been discriminated against from 2014 to now. And then there's the fact that Eastern Ukraine has oil. Like it's been discovered that Ukraine is the second nation in Europe that has oil, and well, Eastern Ukraine. Well, but basically, fuck, I need to get some control here with my speech. But basically, all of that said, oil is in Eastern Ukraine from Crimea to Donbass.
Yeah, and that's a big reason why Russia wants this land so much is because of the oil, um, and it's why NATO and the U.S. was been willing for so long to fight so hard over this, with the whole those oil companies working with the U.S. for favorable oil deals out of Ukraine, the whole Hunter Biden, Burisma shit, all that.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, in other news, I want to talk about something that's happened as to regards with Donald Trump is that what he did recently that I actually want to say I want to congratulate him on this one thing is he actually went after John Bolton of all people, had the FBI raid his house, and I hope they do prosecute him. I hope they send the war criminal John Bolton to jail, honestly, because like everything he did with the Iraq war was shady as hell. And I'm glad that he's getting his comeuppance. And the Democrats are like, I know nobody really has ever liked John Bolton, but you still have some like establishment Democrats, like the CNN people, NPR people, who are who are now suddenly coming to the side of John Bolton and saying that Donald Trump is abusing the justice system. When Joe Biden did this to Trump before, and Joe Biden was also raided by the FBI as well, but they didn't do it as bad as they did with Trump, where they said that they were going to uh, use lethal force if they have to. But Joe Biden and Donald Trump have both been raided by the
That's
FBI.
because
Might as well let John.
yeah, that's because those people are quite frankly opportunistic hypocrites, as I would describe them. We have known for years that when the whole Trump admin was going after sex trafficking gangs within Arizona, the left jumped to their side, but then when they did something bad, that they say no, that we don't do that, because really they're just opportunistic hypocrites.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with a lot of
Same
these people, it's like a sports team. They pick the Democrats like they pick like their favorite sports team, and they will just always do everything in their power to justify what the Democrats are doing, and anything the right is bad. And it's kind of the same thing on the Republicans as well, to a similar extent. I've seen as well.
Yep, well, and of course, another thing that also makes it pretty insufferable with the left's opportunistic hypocrisy is the big old fake virtue signaling.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I think the whole virtue signaling on a lot of these culture war issues, especially, is a big one. Pretty much, like that's a no brainer. It's why I'm not a Democrat as well. Like, there's just too much with this whole culture war bullshit, man.
Yeah, with me, I have kind of dropped the whole anti-woke stuff, but that's because people like Mahler, and I think you know who he is. He basically argued that God of War Ragnarok was not woke, but yet Angrboda, Loki's wife, but by the way, was black in the game. But it's like, hold up, isn't like one of the elements of wokeness is to basically lie about history? well, why are you, this one quote anti-woke guy, defending something that is quite frankly woke?
Yeah.
And that's because sadly the whole anti-woke movement has been infiltrated by centrists, grifters, and a lot of these people who are quite frankly moral F slurs. Yeah, that is what they're called. And of course, I can't say it on here because, come on, it's YouTube.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like with the whole anti woke um thing, it's kind of just so 2016. You know, it's the thing of the past at this point. Like the whole
Yeah.
um just try like and like instead of just actually looking at these issues you that actually affect people, you're gonna go fight on fucking culture war bullshit and purple hair people and what bathrooms people can use and shit. It's just stupid.
Well, well, there is kind of a method to that said madness. That's because, to be quite frank, when you start to see that shit, that's where you start to realize that there is some part of the culture that's just rotting. Like there is a part of the culture that's just rotting, and you can see it.
No, there totally is a problem with how far wokeness went. I'm not against that. I think everybody can acknowledge that totally. Um, I think
No, I mean by with the whole cultural rot we've been seeing for the last 80 years. Because I mean by there's this guy who I watch. His name is Zoomer Historian. But basically, this whole cultural rot, it began all the way back in the Weimar Republic era in the 1920s. And of course, it's actually part of the reason why the National Socialists came to power, because people did not agree with this. But then after 1945, things just got worse, mainly because, to be quite frank, this whole cultural rot was actually brought in by the Marxists within Germany. And when the Soviets won, it kind of brought back that said cultural rot. And that's because that one guy, I think his name was Yuri, he was that one Soviet defector. Even he said, yeah, that they were. He said it back in the 1980s that they were using that said cultural rot against the U.S. For years now, and we're now only starting to really see it in its current form, because to be quite frank, it has lost its element of being hidden. It's just so big that you can't help but, well, notice it.
yeah. No, we definitely have a lot of cultural rot in our society. Um, and I think one of the great examples of cultural rot in our society is something that happened recently. Is I don't know if you paid attention to this the school shooting that happened recently at like a
Yep.
Catholic school, right? Um,
Yep, I've heard about that.
there was this transgender girl or boy, whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
It was a trans woman.
Okay, it was a transgender girl. It used to be a dude, right? And she
Yep.
had gone pretty much full psycho. I mean, it really seemed like
Yeah, like I did actually read some of his manifesto on a stream by Carl Sama, and there are two versions of it. One written in the normal English language in the Latin alphabet, and one that was written in the Cyrillic alphabet. And if you want to know why he was writing it in the Cyrillic one, either A, it's to be a fucking LARPer, or B, it's to keep it secret from his family, because he did keep it secret from his family.
yeah,
And then you find the English version, and it becomes much more clear, because yeah, he did fucking go insane. And of course, this is something that I also notice among these types of people. They do always seemingly have a strong hatred of the Christian faith.
Yeah. Well, what I saw from this whole thing is it looked like somebody who had pretty much gone into like a schizophrenic wreck basically. Their beliefs were all over the place, like so weird. So you had at one point they have like the brand new LGBTQ flag thing with the triangle that looks like Ohio on a gun with a picture of a gun. On one gun, you said it said "Kill Donald Trump," and one video she said Brandon Herrera for president. And Brandon Herrera recently made a video. He's running for Congress and disavowed the whole situation, the whole attack, saying that he's never met this person in his life. Um, and then on other guns, you had anti-Christian remarks, and then another gun had a homophobic remark on it as well. So it was such a weird mismatch of
Yeah, that part.
culminations.
Yeah, that part honestly doesn't. Yeah, that part honestly doesn't surprise me with the weird anti-homosexual stuff, and that's because even I've noticed this on places such as Twitter. Even trans people seemingly hate gays as well, all because they're not trans, and that's because, and I am going to be real here in my own view. Transgenderism is not a good thing. It always makes these people go mental.
I mean, what do you think is going to happen when you pump in all these pharmaceuticals into your body and try to alter?
Especially when they're especially when their brain is still developing.
Yeah, I mean, from a lot of what a lot of people would say, and I think a lot of them don't like homosexuals is because I was listening to Blair White um, talking about this issue. Is that a lot of them are upset that they couldn't accept themselves for who they are as like a tomboy or a effeminate male, and instead, with their gender dysmorphia, decided to go about those changes, and maybe they're having some sort of deep seated regrets or something.
Yeah, and in some cases, with their parents full blown supporting it without them really knowing it, it also might be a sign. It also might be a sign of this. If I can't have this, no one will. That kind of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, if you take all those hormones like estrogen and puberty blockers, and a lot of these people also go through other mental health issues as well. A lot of times, it's not just gender dysmorphia. Sometimes they have like autism, bipolar disorder, anxiety, schizophrenia, multi personality disorder, and other stuff.
Depression.
Yeah, general anger management issues, general childhood trauma, right?
Yep, and in some cases with people like a Niara. Now, of course, I do not really need to tell you this, but basically, he is fucked up. He is one of the most fucked up people I've known in the whole trans space. But basically, with him, you could tell that it's some weird fucked up form of fetish, so much to the point where it's just where it just borderlines on mental illness, because it's like, why the fuck would you get sexually attracted to pretty much cutting off a piece of your body?
Yeah, I just think that's people can go too far, my guy. Like this whole woke shit went way too far long ago, and they're gonna go down kicking and screaming with the whole Trump uh, being in office and all that. And this is a symptom, a very bad symptom of that whole just cultural rot, as you put it.
Yep. And yeah, this cultural rot won't really start to go away until like the 2030s, and this is something that I notice, that this always happens within this one big old 100-year span, whenever there's a form of cultural rot, an extreme faction tends to rise out of it. Case in point, World War II with the National Socialists within Germany and the Weimar Republic. And before that, I think it was something like, and of course, long before that, it was also something like the French Revolution.
Yeah, but I mean, look what's going on. They're actually considering socialist policies now. They're gonna have Zoran Mondani be the mayor of New York. I mean,
Yep, it's getting so much to the
the
point.
two sides
Like it's getting so
become
much to
so
the point where there are.
polarized.
Yeah, like I mean by it's getting to the point where we're even people like myself have probably turned to more and more extreme ideologies in case of something really bad going to happen.
I mean, and then you look on the right too. Like, so the left is going socialist. You have the blue-haired SJWs that have been running around for the past several years since like 2015, that have been just being crazy lunatics on the left. And then you look on the right, and I mean, there's that one guy on fucking a Jubilee video that literally said that, like, was proudly proclaiming to be a fascist. You've got like
Oh,
Nick Fuente
him,
picking up
yeah,
the team.
he was. But yeah, he was actually fired from his job, even though in that said debate, it wasn't really that crazy. It's like, hold up, why did you fire him over his political beliefs?
I don't know, man, but
But
guy was.
take a look at take a look at me. I pretty much became a full blown Odinic monarchist because of it. Like I mean by even I became radical in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, what happened to me is I became more and more libertarian as time went on, honestly, and I still, I'm with the Libertarian Party. Um, gonna be a card carrying member eventually, I think, and we're just trying to work to actually get some solution to happen because right now it's not working. I don't think.
Yep, but still, yeah, with the whole cultural rot, it will probably culminate to something that'll be very similar to what happened within Spain back in the 1930s when the Spanish Civil War began. Because well, what really started that was the whole persecution of the Christians by the Marxists, which is what gave way to a Francisco Franco coming into power in order to and of course in his case he was kind of rare mainly because he actually wanted to put the Spanish monarchy back into power instead of being something akin to Mussolini or the Austrian painter. But still, we will probably get figures that are similar to Francisco Franco, Mussolini, or as we cannot mention his name because YouTube sucks,
Mr.
the Austrian painter.
Mr. Mustache guy.
Yep.
I
Yep,
mean,
even Asmongold predicts that we will have another figure similar to him.
at this rate, I think it is entirely possible that with enough people just being completely radicalized and losing their fucking minds, that we are already in a situation of authoritarianism. Ron Paul says that we've been in the era of big government since they decided to take us off the gold standard and create, or well, they didn't create the Fed then in the 70s, but put all the burden on the Fed.
Yeah, to be honest, I actually quite frankly kind of blame him. I do actually kind of blame Abraham Lincoln for wanting to put in the dollar system because if you don't know, long before the Republican Party was a thing, there was a party called the Whigs,
Yeah.
and they were actually and they were actually horrible and awful, so much to the point where my so much to the point that the Jeff that they were kicked out of the South. In fact, the founding leaders' views on Native Americans made people's eyebrows raised at that time. Well, like it actually got their eyebrows to raise at that time too, because he actually had those kinds of radical views on Native Americans, and in that they should be, and I quote, and of course, well, this is what he said, and I quote: their erasure from the human family will not be tragic.
Yeah, the Whig Party sucked.
Yeah, and of course Abraham Lincoln was a Whig, because and nobody mentions that, but he was a Whig, and there are multiple sources of where he did call blacks inferior. In fact, he actually didn't really care about slavery, because the whole emancipation didn't apply to the slaves in the North.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I do remember hearing about that in history class for sure. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, we will see something akin to those parties, and with the whole gold standard. Yeah, we should really go back to that. Like, there's a reason why our own government took out Gaddafi, because he wanted to go back to the gold standard, and he did actually try to make a new currency for Africa via the gold standard.
Yeah. And then they went after, well, remember the country he had wasn't Yemen, it was Libya, right?
Yep, it was Libya.
Okay. So remember he had made Libya one of the most successful countries in all of Africa. Had completely revolutionized the country and was going to create that new currency and try to make a united Africa. And yeah, the big wigs wouldn't let them have it, and decided to
Yep.
assassinate
It,
him.
it, it is also it is also the same. It is also partially the same reason why we have such tension with BRICS. In fact, those tariffs that Trump did, it only did nothing but push Brazil even further into getting back into the gold standard.
Yeah,
It actually pushed them even further in going back to that.
yeah, I'm really worried about that as well. I think BRICS will probably end up taking over as they decide to put everything onto central bank digital currency. So I think BRICS will eventually be taking over after the U.S. dollar inevitably
Yeah,
falls,
personally,
because it's
yeah,
it's worth
personally, if you
97% less than what it was originally worth, and it's not backed by anything of actual meaning. It's supposedly backed by bonds. They just keep printing it and printing it at the Fed, creating hyperinflation, and they have no gold to back it up. Richard Nixon taking us off the gold standard was probably the worst decision he could have ever made possible.
yep.
But he wanted to keep the Vietnam War
Yep,
going.
we need to go back to the gold standard. Like, we really need to. Like I mean by even I've been watching this guy. He's called Judge Janine. Well, and of course, it is not just gold that is also increasing in its value. It is also copper and silver.
Yeah, it's precious metals. Yeah,
Yep, thanks to advancements with AI, one of the tools that is needed in order to make material that is able to program in AI is silver, and it will increase in its value because of it.
hmm. Yeah, and isn't there also a lot of these stable coins? Are also um, I mean, they're being made in a finite supply using the blockchain. But sometimes they're able to get the actual physical coins, and they're made out of like actual gold or silver or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's like they know what they're doing. The people who run the markets, the market forces, they know what they're doing. They just we're just at a time where our currency, the old currency, is coming to an end. I mean, we're $37 trillion in debt, and we've printed the money until it's essentially worthless eventually.
Yep. But sadly, we are a oligarchy, and those said oligarchs don't want to get rid of the U.S. dollar because it does give them power, but even they see the writing on the wall, and they're still trying to save up. But it's like, well, why are you trying to save up with something that is no longer valuable at this point?
Yeah. I mean, I have a bunch of I have some foreign currency and stuff, like a little foreign currency collection with like silver and coins and all that. So, I mean, I think those will eventually in the future gain value over time. So hopefully I can barter those
Yeah.
if I have to.
Yep. And I'm so sorry about me going. So sorry about me making this live stream go really off topic.
Oh, it's all good, man. Another thing I wanted to talk about was what's going on in Israel right now is Netanyahu um, is continuing his decision to occupy Gaza and has actually had Israeli settlers go out of the Golan Heights and create a new outpost. Also, sadly, I don't know what it is with Donald Trump, why he's so wishy-washy on Israel. It seems like I hear from one source that says, "Oh, he's
That's
angry
because
at Israel." I hear another source that says, "Oh, he loves Israel because look what he's doing with Palantir and all this shit." And he calls Netanyahu a war hero. And it's insane to me. I don't know what the fuck is going on, man.
that's because to be quite frank, he has been bought out by the Zionists in our own government, and I will be open here. It has honestly been that way since like the 1920s. Oddly enough, yeah, that's right. The Austrian painter. One of the reasons why he hated our own government was due to those J O's in our own government. And now, of course, he did not hate us, the same as the British people, but he hated the governments. And of course, in a way, 80 years after this, I can kind of see why, because even they have a point in the fact that we aren't really led by leaders anymore. They're just the lesser of two evils at this point.
Yeah, I mean, really, I mean, our leadership has just been it's just been god awful, especially the past couple of cycles.
20 years.
Yeah, the last 20 years, man, have been like Bill
Yeah,
Clinton, Bush.
it's really been bullshit since about 2001, specifically September 11th, when they put in the Patriot Act.
Yeah. No, I mean, the Israelis have just been, I mean, they have been just absolutely on a crusade, basically, a warpath against the Palestinians. They're trying to do this greater Israel project, and our government just stands idly by. And every now and then you have Donald Trump. Sometimes you'll think he'll have a spine because he'll say something against the neocons, or um, he'll say in his rhetoric, he'll say, "Oh, I'm cross with Netanyahu over this hospital bombing," and then later he'll go and call him a war hero the next day. I'm like, make up your own mind, damn it.
Yep.
I don't know. Is he gonna be is like does he want to be the badass president, or does he want to be just another oligarch? It seems like his policies a lot of times are going down the just another oligarch pathway from what I've been
Train.
seeing, and
Yep.
I understand why everybody, absolutely everybody, is frustrated with him.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, the whole thing with Israel and of course even though it will be sad, but at this point, well, it will be kind of sad for them, for those people
well, they
on that side, but we
are
shouldn't really get
now.
involved I have a friend from North Carolina. He's called the Batty Commander,
Mhm.
and he has a point here. Let them drop the nukes on one another. If they want a World War One, they will let them learn that lesson, like how we did in the First World War.
Hmm. So basically, your friend's solution is just let them fight.
Yep, that is it. Because to be quite frank, I think that might be the only lesson that I think that might be the only thing that will actually kind of teach them that lesson, because they haven't learned the horrors of nukes, like how we did in World War II when we dropped the two nukes on Japan.
Yeah. Well, think.
Like, I mean, by India, Pakistan, Israel, and Palestine haven't really learned that from us.
Yeah, but Palestine doesn't even have nukes. Hell, they barely have a real army. Like, they're just like there are. What's left of Hamas is like guerrillas at this point, just random guerrillas. Probably it's just angry people whose family members have died and at the hands of Israel, and they want to get back at Israel, so they join the Hamas because, well, that's the only organization that's right there in their living space that is wanting to combat these people that are dropping bombs on them every day.
Yep. Yeah, it will actually kind of truly
I mean, I thought they killed
be a
the leader.
sad
Like,
event when it does
I
happen.
could have sworn they killed like the Hamas leader months ago. And then I swear that Donald Trump had negotiated some ceasefire deal when he first got elected, and that Hamas was going to give up a bunch of the hostages and have Israel lock up their arms in a box in like a multi-phase plan. And then Israel just goes and violates the plan. Now Netanyahu's being investigated by his own government for corruption and war crimes. But Netanyahu's going to keep them at war for as long as he can now, until eventually they have to boot him out in 2026. He's already losing a lot of popularity too. I mean, the streets. I've seen videos in the streets in Israel that people are like over 2 million people like last week protesting against Netanyahu's
Yeah,
wanting the hostages back.
like I mean by even yeah, like I mean by even before this whole war began, that there were already people protesting him all the way back in 2023 before October 7th.
Yeah. No, and the more I look into October 7th, it's similar to like the 9/11 thing with me. Like it's just more fishy. It just screams inside job every time I look at the facts because it's like this was supposed to be the most highly secured border in the world, really. I mean, armed sniper guards and shit at every single gate with surveillance cameras and fully militarized system with gates and all that, and a bunch of towel heads with a bulldozer managed to knock that over and kill 1,200 people. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Oh, and hang gliders with parachutes. Hang glider parachute guys. That's what we're
Yep.
supposed to expect. Like we're and the reason given is, oh, we just let our guard down because it was a holiday. Oh, I'm sure the United States National Security Council and the CIA is taking a break on Christmas Eve, right?
Yep.
I doubt that.
Yeah, if NFL players don't get a break on Christmas, by actual Christmas Day,
No, they
and they
literally
still
can
get
play
to
on Christmas.
and they still have to play the games,
Yeah.
then you know that the members of the CIA definitely do not take breaks on Christmas Day.
No, and you expect that from supposedly the world's greatest intelligence, our eye in the Middle East over all things, the literal all-seeing
Yep,
eye. But it just
yep.
happened to miss. It happened to miss the crazy people with ninja masks trying to jump over the border with a crowbar and some loppers and a bulldozer and a few dudes with
Bulldozer, same as those hang gliders.
and a few rusty old Toyota pickup trucks. Right.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't it's just silly. It's like a cartoon. No, yeah, the deaths, yes, they're real. They're real tragic. I'm not trying to make light of that. Yes, we can all mourn the victims of
Yep.
what happened that day. What happened that day was not okay.
Yeah,
But
I
to
w-
say that,
yeah, I will.
go for
Yeah,
it. Sorry.
yeah, I will have to say this to the people who are probably watching this and they're probably trying to call us the deniers. No, we are not trying to deny it. We are calling it a psyop.
Yeah,
Because I mean, me, me
false
mean by
flag.
because I mean by I've actually seen those kinds of people. Because I mean by I've actually seen those kinds of people with the whole 9/11 attacks. They will be like this. Oh, so you're denying them? No,
No, what
we
they
know that
yeah.
the actual tragedy happened. But we're just calling it a psyop because really it's fishy.
The problem is that's there is when we're calling it a psyop. There's real victims, and it is fishy situation. It is kind of a little bit of dark humor, but what's really happening is you got to get exposed to understand what actually happened and be like, hey, that was the supposed good guys who did that. Not okay.
Yep. And yeah, there is a lot of dark humor in it, mainly in the fact that it's like, huh, ain't that fucked?
Yeah, it really is. No, it really is. No, it's just crazy.
Yep.
I think it feels like we're just bought out by Israel at this point, bought out by APAC. Like, I mean, I will say there's one good thing that's happening in the administration. I think Maha has done some good stuff recently. I heard that they're trying to make it so that people who become doctors, like medical doctors, take nutrition classes. I think that's very important. That's a great step in the right direction. And another thing is, there was that lady, Susan Menarez, I had talked about recently. I said that she was part of the Bush administration and the Obama administration and the Biden administration as an insider for the pharmaceutical industry, and that she was all part of backing the whole AI clanker takeover of medicine and health. Um, and her values did not align with the administration. It didn't align with Maha. Um, her three main things she was pushing were abortion, inoculation, and biometric data harvesting. And they ultimately ended up, RFK Jr. ended up firing her um, with the support of Trump in that as well. So I'm glad they got rid of her. They needed to get that bum out of there, and now they can actually get someone who really cares about health in there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But even with the Maha stuff going all right, and there is stuff definitely that has happened in Maha that I'm like, why are we selling out on this area? Why are we selling out on the chemicals inside the crops? Because you got glyphosate and diquat being sprayed on everything by all sorts of different states. You've got the deregulation of PFOAs from Lee Zeldin and all that goes along with that. That's poisoning the food and water you eat and drink and the air you breathe. I mean, so even with Maha, I have some concerns. But no, I'm more so upset with MAGA because I think MAGA has done probably the largest sellout of anything. With they recently announced that they did an operation with Cash Patel to arrest like 100 something chomos, right? And
Yep.
but guess what? Guess who they let off the hook? They had caught
Who?
That Israeli in a sting operation. I forget his name. Um, but they let him flee back to Israel, and he's just gonna get off the hook.
Yep.
His name is Tom Artyom Alexandrovich, and he was arrested in a multi-agency sting operation for child predators in Henderson, Nevada, near Las Vegas, and he was charged with cyber luring, a felony, and allegedly soliciting a minor online. And he was the national security director of the Israeli government, and Netanyahu bailed him out, and
Yep.
Trump let him off the hook.
Yep.
So they let that guy go. They'll brag about the dozens of no names that they got, but they will not talk about this Alexandrovich guy, Tom Alexandrovich, the guy who they let off the hook, and they definitely won't talk about the Epstein files.
Yeah, that's because, to be quite frank, the whole MAGA thing is kind of a failed movement. It really kind of is.
Yeah,
Case in point, take a look at the people who have been kind of turning to more radical ideologies. Case in point, myself with monarchy. It is kind of a failed thing.
yeah. I mean, it's interesting though. It's interesting. You said that you went and radicalized to monarchy, and then I went like the complete opposite direction of the spectrum because last I checked, monarchy is in the authoritarian right, right?
Yep.
That's way up at the
Yep.
authoritarian
It
right.
is.
And I went to the opposite side. I went to libertarianism, more specifically classical liberalism, which is also away from the mainstream MAGA, but it's a lot more south on the spectrum.
Yep.
I just find that
But still,
interesting.
that whole MAGA thing is really just a failure because I mean by we're already seeing people diverge from it. Case in point, both of us, even if those said ideologies are completely different.
Yeah. No, very different in several ways for sure, but no, I mean it's just crazy to see what has gone on in MAGA, and it's like this is the exact opposite of what anybody voted for. Like people really, I mean, I'm sure there was some of the stuff. Obviously, they got the culture war bullshit down. Like in the first few weeks, they got using Doge to axe all the DEI programs, and then like after that, I didn't really see very much change. We were told we were going to have a better
Yeah, like I
recovery
mean by
economy, and look where we are now.
yeah, like I mean by with the whole yeah, like I mean by with the whole Gamescom thing, with all the people who proclaim that wokeness is ending. No, it's not. Because if you take a look at the whole Summer's Game Fest thing, like I mean by I watched it, and I will say this, and I am going to be completely open and honest here. It was so boring that it made the idea of watching 10 hours worth of hardcore NSFW sound more entertaining. That's how boring it was.
Hmm. Yeah,
But still, that shit was filled to the brim with DEI bullshit.
oh yeah, totally, totally. No, I mean I hear they're even still running the DEI army ads. I saw like they're still doing that with like TikTok influencers.
Yeah, and that's because, to be quite frank, DEI, which has been around since like 1965, just 2 years after the Civil Rights Act, it will probably never go away until something really radical happens.
Yeah. Well, no, now the DEI, now they're saying, okay, well you have to go to college based off of merit based qualifications.
Yep,
Unless you're from
a
Israel,
meritocracy.
unless you're from Israel, then you get DEI treatment, right?
Yep, but still, we've been having that shit since like 1965, and it will probably never go away until things really start to change. Because I mean, by such as I said, wokeness will only really start to go away by around 2034, I think.
Why so specifically 2034?
That's because I do watch a guy called What the EGAD, and he did say that it won't go away in about a decade, but in that next said decade, it will start to go away. And of course, so since the whole culture war thing really started to go insane in 2014, and these said culture wars usually, or at least these said culture wars in their last span, tend to last for about 20 years.
Interesting. I mean, maybe makes sense. I mean, yeah. I mean, it might make sense because by that point, I think I think what's going to happen in 2028 is the country is going to try to go hard left. I think they're going to have
Yep, and as a result,
what
and as a
country's going to
result,
want
it
versus
will
what they
make.
get is going to be two different things, though, is what I'm saying.
Yep, it
Um,
will.
I think they're going to get
It'll be
Gavin Newsom
similar.
OC at this point.
Yep, and yep. To be honest, I think it might be something that will be akin to the Spanish Civil War, but on a much larger scale. Mainly due to one thing: one, we are not isolated to a small continent such as Europe. We're actually very big in comparison to Europe. And two, um, uh, well, just to simply put it, the United States is similar to the Austro-Hungarian Empire. The only real difference is that we, for the most part, speak one language. But still, we are very similar to the Austro-Hungarian Empire in the fact that we make up about 15 different nations that are all put into 50 different states.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. And there's also just, I mean, I feel like it could culminate in a civil war. I heard that in the UK, actually, they are warning about the potential for a civil war. Um, and
Oh, there have been
if they think
signs,
the
like I mean, by
UK
people
is
within.
bad, if they think the UK is bad,
Yep,
the US is worse.
No, the UK is actually worse in comparison. Like, I mean, by the UK is a full-blown police state at this point.
Damn. The UK
Yep,
is a
like I mean
police
by
state now?
within, like I mean by you can't even make a joke in the UK without the fear of like, getting arrested because that said joke made fun of the government or the precious little minorities there. That's how bad it is.
Hmm. I mean, you heard about the girl with the knife and the axe in Scotland?
Yep,
I
I've heard
mean,
about
she
that,
was getting
and I
chased
mean
by
by
an
it's been
immigrant, and like this immigrant with a camera started following them, and she had to chase them off with a knife and an axe, and they arrested the girl.
yep, and within the town of Epping, there was there was a report that a migrant sexually assaulted a young girl, and it was so much to the point that the citizens did start to protest, but but the police, yeah, they obviously got involved, but at that point they did not the people did not give a fuck. They did actually become a bit more rowdy and violent, and at this point I can't blame them.
Yeah. No, yeah, totally. I mean, their government is pretty authoritarian over in the UK. But what I was saying is that in the US, I feel like our politics is just more divided. It's one thing in the UK you have like the government wants to do this one very just neoliberal bullshit where it's like it's turning from neoliberalism to sort of like the George Orwellian.
Anarcho tyranny,
What's that?
anarcho tyranny, but basically the entire government, yes, it is very authoritarian only to its native population, but it does act very libertarian, borderline anarchist when it comes to the actual criminal gangs.
Yeah,
Anarcho tyranny.
yeah, something like that, basically. And then in the U.S., we're just under an oligarchy, and we have a lot of very pissed off people from just a ginormous, diverse melting pot of different backgrounds. You have pissed off liberals, pissed off conservatives, pissed off fucking centrists, like everyone.
Commies pissed off far rightists. Yeah,
Everyone,
pretty much that.
everyone's pissed. No one's happy in the U.S. right now.
Yep.
Well, unless maybe you're a Fox News boomer conservative, then maybe you're somewhat happy because you can say, haha, we own the libs.
Yeah, to be honest, the only reason why I am somewhat quote unquote labeled to be happy is one thing. Well, the thanks to the whole 2025 election, some people have actually kind of become, chuds in a way.
They become chud.
Oh my god, chud! Oh my god, the heckin' chuds! They want to take over our subreddit. Get my character, and I'm gonna draw them punching some of my Nazi with a poorly and I'm a horribly drawn swastika.
Chud Jack.
Yep.
Must die.
Nothing ever happens.
Nothing ever happens. It seems like it sometimes, man. Like you'd
Yeah, it does.
something
It does honestly seem like it.
and like a lot of like there should be a lot of more outrage right now in the U.S. I think than there. Like I was expecting there to be.
Yeah, the news. Yeah, there is an actual reason why I do actually kind of somewhat believe in the whole entire philosophy of the whole nothing ever happens, and that's because yeah, nothing ever truly happens now.
Yeah, did you see like Elon Musk already gave up on America Party, pretty much. That's dead in the water.
Yep. Yeah. To be honest, I honestly kind of predicted that to fail, and I was right in the end.
Yeah, I figured that he would be better off just funding the Libertarian Party, honestly. It makes more sense than to try to start up a new party from scratch with nobody to be a figurehead for that party. Because let's be honest, nobody wants to elect Elon Musk as president.
Yeah,
Well, maybe some
especially
people
since
do,
since
but
he still
they're
wants to
kind of
make
greedy.
that brain chip.
Yeah, I don't want Brain Chip Boy in office. No, thank you. I don't want his AI clanker takeover.
Yep.
Clankers!
No clankers allowed. No clankers allowed. Those those rusty tin-skinned clankers. I hate them so
Clankers.
much.
Ugh.
Clankers.
I just I just can't stand them, bro. They're just you see them in the street, you see them just rolling around and like getting in the way. Do you see that one video where the clanker was driving on the fucking sidewalk and it rolled off to the side? It was like delivering a Uber Eats or something, and then a car comes out of nowhere, takes a right turn right into it, and smashes it. You seen that one?
Sadly, I have not, but now I do because that sounds glorious.
I gotta find it. I gotta bring it up. I'm on YouTube right now. I'm gonna look this thing up. All right, all right. I'm gonna go at screen share screen real quick. All right, you ready? You in? Let's see how this
Yep,
goes on here.
I'm in.
All right, we got the.
Okay, I see the.
Here we go. Looks like you got hit by a car. The clanker. The clanker.
Shut up, clanker.
What the heck?
Yep.
There we go. Yeah, we don't like those robots, bro. They're gonna take our jobs. They took our job. They're gonna take our
Yep.
jobs.
Yep. We don't quite like clankers.
We don't quite like them around these parts. No, we don't.
Yep.
What the heck? Sorry. I'm trying to copy paste this in. I don't know why it won't let me.
Yeah, we should really kind of get back to topic.
Yeah, probably. But this is what the clankers are going to do to us.
Yep. They took our jobs.
They took our jobs. They're going to steal our jobs, bro.
Indeed.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much, I don't really have that much else left to say. Do you have any closing remarks for the stream?
All I know is that I have kind of doing nothing besides writing. Like I'm currently like on page 13 of my book, but that's all it. And I have been working on the short story series, and well, I am thinking of working with the Arias Press and Bizarchive.
Hmm.
I pretty much fit right up their alley because they're both publishers and they do like some stories that go a bit edgy and also and of course even then I think I'll have a fun time speaking with the owner of Bizarchive. His name is Dave Martell, and well, there's a reason why I think I'll have fun with him.
Hmm.
He's a Norse pagan, and I pretty much have no one to speak to when it comes down to that religious level.
Ah, interesting. Well, I'm glad you and
Yep.
him will have something in common, and it'll be really interesting. We're all waiting on your book, and we're hyped up for it. We're getting excited for it to release. So hopefully, you can get it released soon. Hopefully, the writing's all going well. Yeah, I mean, I don't have that much going on the channel either. Um, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, go for it.
So far, I just really need to. So far, I just really need to make a video that can just kind of get big.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Yep.
you just
Like
gotta
I
keep
just need to
grinding, bro.
make that. Yep. I just need to. Like I mean, by September is rolling around, and I did promise to make a third Schizo Rants episode by that time. And yeah, the original planned episode was pushed all the way back to September because I am thinking of I'm up by to January of next year or February. But that's because I am thinking of getting a laptop this December, and the reason why I'm getting it this December, well, simple. Prices dropped during the Christmas holiday season.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Come out with all the deals and all that. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully everything is going
Yep.
well with the book. I might actually do a video live stream in a couple weeks with a third party candidate that ran for Senate last year. So that might be interesting if we can get him on. And if not, I'll just be streaming and I'll welcome anybody into the chat, I guess, to just come and chat about whatever is the happenings going on at the time, basically. So yeah, you're welcome on the podcast anytime, man. Thank
Yep.
you for coming in and telling everyone about your book, and
Yep.
informing us about a lot of interesting things. Thank you.
Yep. Yep.
All right, man.
And also, I do want to say something off stream, but that's mainly because it's like, I do want this to be a bit more of a private conversation.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Alrighty, well, yeah, we'll
Yep.
talk a little bit after we close off this podcast episode. So yeah, thank you guys. This is Rexus Prime. Where can they follow you on YouTube?
Yep.
Where can they subscribe?
Yep. They can just simply yep, and of course, since that YouTube doesn't allow you to tag me on your channel, I'll just simply do it. If you guys want to follow me, just look up Rexus Prime, and with Rexus, do a double S because that's how it's spelled. And if I do not show up, just type in Mr. Dash Kolovrat, Kolovrat.
All right, I just typed it into the comment so people can see. At Rexus Prime or at Mr. Dash Kolovrat. That's where you can subscribe to him on YouTube and tune into him, and hopefully he releases his book soon because we're all excited to read it. Thank you. Have a nice one. We'll see you after the stream.
Yep. Okay.